And David Cameron needs to worry about his own country, and frankly, he can kiss my ass.
But do you think Putin's the good guy in all this?
That was Marjorie Taylor Greene's response to criticism from British Foreign Secretary David Cameron. Hours earlier, Cameron wrote in the Hill newspaper, "Pass Ukraine funding for the sake of global security." Quote, "I do not want us to show the weakness displayed against Hitler in the 1930s. He came back for more, costing us far more lives to stop his aggression." Sky News correspondent James Matthews followed up.
Secretary David Cameron says that you should vote through funding for Ukraine. What do you say to that?
I think he tried to compare us to Hitler also. And if that's the kind of language he wants to use, I really have nothing to say to him.
Well, he likened you to an appeaser to Hitler in not voting through funding for Ukraine. Are you an appeaser for Putin?
I think that I really don't care what David Cameron has to say. I think that's rude name-calling, and I don't appreciate that type of language.
Greene, of course, knows all about rude name-calling. That's been her MO for years.
I just want to say to Nancy Pelosi, she's a hypocrite, she's an anti-American, and we're going to kick that bitch out of Congress.
Now we have Nancy Pelosi's gazpacho police spying on members of Congress.
It's Gestapo, not gazpacho.
There's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to take this global cable of Satan-worshiping pedophiles out.
It's cabal, not cable.
I do not support your socialist policies. If you want to be a big girl, you need to get rid of your diaper and come out and be able to talk to the American citizens instead of us having to use a flap, a little flap.
Are you an appeaser for Putin?
I think that I really don't care what David Cameron has to say. I think that's rude name-calling, and I don't appreciate that type of language. And David Cameron needs to worry about his own country, and frankly, he can kiss my ass.
I was gonna make a joke here, but body-shaming Marjorie Taylor Greene and noting certain things about her ass, her toes, or anything else seems a bit undignified. So I'll leave that to some of you in the comment section. In the meantime, British Foreign Secretary David Cameron was just in Warsaw, Poland, and got asked about Greene's remarks. Cameron said it was not his intention to lecture or tell American friends, including the U.S. Congress, what to do. In other words, Cameron was polite, diplomatic, and classy, all things that Marjorie Taylor Greene is not. And Cameron repeated his request about American help for Ukraine.
When Britain and Europe and America, when we stand together, when we fight together, when we stand up for freedom, when we stand against aggression, when we stand with our partners, we can't be defeated. That's what's necessary this time. And it's not just a European issue. There will be other people watching what the Americans do. They will be watching in China. They will be watching in Iran. And every country around the world will be watching to say, are we, these Western countries, are we reliable allies? When we say we're going to back you, when we say you're right to resist aggression, when we say you're right to defend your country, when we say you're right to defend your borders, are we with you, not just today and tomorrow and for months, but are we with you until your aggressor has lost?
Unfortunately, Marjorie Taylor Greene and others on the far right in America seem to be on the side of the aggressor, Russia. And the practical effect of American isolationism, or what conservatives call America First, is that it enables Russia not just in Ukraine, but also in Poland and other places that Russia may try to target next. Thankfully, some Republicans and many Democrats seem determined to work around Greene and other far-right isolationists. Now, never mind Russia's invasion and the war against Ukraine, there are other issues where a bipartisan coalition in Congress is working to stifle Marjorie Taylor Greene. That includes on domestic issues like the coronavirus vaccine. Greene has repeatedly trashed the vaccines and alleged wild conspiracy theories, and she did so again on this day at a House hearing on vaccine safety systems. Democrats pushed back, noted the data proving that vaccines work, and slammed Greene. Here's California Democrat Robert Garcia.
We have a member of this committee that just actually made some comments, who's been on social media demanding that we hold this exact same hearing. This is the same person that we know that has, on countless posts, has spread misinformation, encouraged parents to refuse routine vaccinations for their children, which you just heard, by the way, and even compared our pandemic efforts responses to the Holocaust. I want to just actually read something which is in the public record. I'm not saying anything that's not in the public record. That a member of this committee actually said, the same person that is actually attacking vaccines, said that vaccinated employees get a vaccination logo, just like the Nazis forced Jewish people to wear a gold star. I want to read that again. Vaccinated employees get a vaccination logo just like the Nazis forced Jewish people to wear a gold star. That is the level of insanity and attacks that we are having here as we actually debate the lives saved around vaccinations. Now, this same member has also held shadow public hearings promoting ideas that COVID is a bioweapon to target people of specific races and that vaccines, and I quote, cause turbo cancers. I want to read you this quote, and it's again in the public record at a hearing. Have the COVID vaccines resulted in an increase in cancers, and are turbo cancers real? Now, Mr. Chairman, this is, in my opinion, just insanity. We know that's not the case. Dr. Marks, can you clarify once again for the American people, do the COVID vaccines cause turbo cancers?
I'm a oncologist that's board certified. I don't know what a turbo cancer is. It was a term that was used first in a paper in mouse experiments describing an inflammatory response. We have not detected any increase in cancers with the COVID-19 vaccines.
Thank you, and I thank you for correcting the record.
May I just add something here? I do need to apologize to the 1,000 or so parents of children who are under 4 years of age who have died of COVID-19 who were unvaccinated because there were deaths and are continuing to be deaths in children, and that is the reason why they need to get vaccinated. Thank you.
And I agree with you 100%. And the fact that we are now having parents that are choosing to vaccinate their kids less than before because of all of the attacks on vaccinations is shameful, and it's shameful that members of Congress continue to put down vaccinations as an opportunity to get our communities healthier.
In other words, the lies from Marjorie Taylor Greene and other conservatives have caused countless families to avoid vaccinating their kids, resulting in kids dying. There is blood on the hands of Greene and other conservatives for their misinformation. But that is standard for Marjorie Taylor Greene. Whether it's the threat of COVID or the dangers from Putin, Marjorie Taylor Greene is making people in America and around the globe less safe. And when called out on it, all Greene can do is respond in a way that is juvenile, low class, and full of hypocrisy. For many Americans, Greene's standing as an elected lawmaker is freaky. For the rest of the world, it is alarming. By the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene's political savior, Donald Trump, is exploding again over Lincoln Project attack ads.
Donald Trump doesn't care if your family's safety or the lives of law enforcement officers are in the balance. He's on the side of the cartels, coyotes, and child traffickers.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular was from Brian Abbott, who wrote, "Anytime Trump's miserable, I am a happy guy." Well, Trump has a lot to be miserable about these days. I look forward to reading your comments about the latest outburst by Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.